kidding. Alright, this Bamboo Jake here at Seriously, Now I'm Kidding.
.com.
There you go. Making compost tea, so come check it out.
Yep, let's go in there.
No, something with Panya. Didn't see where those tires went, did you, Jake?
And here's just water and bubble air, and we just add sugar in there for the bacteria. It's food for bacteria. That provide oxygen.
You're ready for hand rent. Yeah.
And we just went to get compost. And that was Adam doing.
Hello.
He tied the compost in a net.
My name is Adam. I'm making tea. So, suspend it in there.
We need to tie them so the bag can hang in there.
You don't want the bag in the corner or tucked away anywhere. You want it right in the middle where there's the most oxygen bubbling. So right above this thing is the best place to have the bag, which is where it is pretty much at now. Perfect. So now we have in here water, oxygen, sugar, and bacteria. So with that mix, and a little bit of organic materials too, there's still food in the compost. So with that mix, given about 24 hours, 36 hours, we'll probably have per teaspoon 4 million bacteria per teaspoon, as opposed to what's probably already in there might be 500,000 to 1 million bacteria per teaspoon in the compost. This will make it really multiply a good bit. I mean, you're providing an ideal environment for the aerobic organisms, okay? Because again, all about the aerobic oxygen requiring organisms. There's other styles of compost, liquid compost, where you just leave it in a bucket for a week or two. We're not playing with that too much because again, we're looking for the aerobic organisms. They need lots of oxygen, and there's lots of energy in the system. The bubbles also pry the microorganisms right off the humus from the compost, spread it through the water. So this is going to be a bacterial tea. Bacterial compost tea is particularly good for annual vegetables as opposed to perennial plants or vegetables or trees. Because again, the annual plants prefer bacterial soils. So we're going to try this out in some of the pinto peanut, and we're going to try a negative control, no compost tea, and a compost tea experiment, see what the difference is after a couple of weeks. This will be also really good to spread in the composting toilet. Number 3 is finished. We're just kind of sitting there aging, so spread a little bit of compost tea, put some water in there, it'll speed the process up. So after I figure this out, work out the bacterial compost teas, then the real trick is trying to get the fungal compost tea, which is considerably trickier. You know, it takes more work because fungus don't divide and multiply as quickly as bacteria.
That's true.
Yeah, so with the fungal compost tea, you don't want as much sugar. You want a few different ingredients. Rock phosphate is good. I got a big bag in Shanghai. And the big thing is, instead of just taking this compost and putting it in the bucket right now, you take the compost out and you're going to mix it 3 or 4 tablespoons of oatmeal or oat bran, any sort of fungal food. Barley, yeah, soybean meal, all good. So you mix that in with 3 or 4 tablespoons. 3 or 4 tablespoons of that per cup of compost. So it's 3 or 4 days, and you'll just see all the fungal mycelia running through your container. Then you add it here for 12 hours as opposed to 24. So I'm just beginning to figure this out. But the ideal of compost tea is that it's a lot easier to spread than compost. You know, you put in a watering can and just flip it around, or once we get our systems up and going, where we can get some good, effective compost tea, then it'll be time to invest in a backpack sprayer.
Yeah.
And use
So also in the leaves, no?
on the leaves, yeah. The big thing is leaves are like roots, and that the plant leaves and roots put out exudates, or just basically different compounds, sugars, mixes of things. And organisms can live off this plant food that the plant's feeding. So lots of microorganisms in the soil, all around the roots, and also at the leaf structure. So what happens is sometimes we have fungal, or usually fungal infections, or what harms plants. So the idea is we make a fungal compost tea, spray it on the leaves, and the fungus isn't going to do anything in particular. It's just going to outcompete the pathogenic bad fungus. You know, you put more of these benign fungus from your compost onto the plants, they'll muscle out the other fungus that's already there, take all the resources, and you'll hopefully prevent or kill off your infections. But I'm still playing with that.
Mold, be one of those.
It depends on the molds. Some molds are good molds, a lot of molds are bad molds.
One question is too much bad?
Too
Like
much?
Yeah, for the plants.
If it's good compost tea, made from good compost, the research that says that's out now says you can't add too much. Impossible, just keep adding. And it's really a quick way to improve the microbiology of your soils. I mean, compost you can spread, and it has longer term benefits. But it might take 6 months for those benefits to become clear. Whereas compost tea, maybe a few weeks, you begin to see some differences of growth. But again, you have to apply it more often. Yeah, so it's an interesting, like, quick intervention to help out, provide some microbiology to the soils, reestablish the food web. Now, a lot of the composting we're talking about here, the hot thermal composting, the compost tea or the compost teas. Excellent. All of this comes from, I mean, there's lots of different science around composting now, which seems really funny, but once you start reading it, there's like PhDs and students, everybody working on how to get optimal soil. What are all the organisms and all the players in the soil? And they're the ones coming up with these new methods of composting, hot thermal composting, 3 weeks, high temperatures, aerobic flipping, same as the compost teas. It's one really good resource. Really good resource you should all get hold of is there's this woman named Elaine Ingram, and she's basically like the head honcho composting PhD in the world right now. She's head of, I think she has a spin-off company called the Soil Food Web. They do analysis and teachings and the rest of it. But this is a book written by a couple of gardeners based on all this heavy science in the soil food web, teeming with microbes. And it goes through the basic science, going from classic soil science, talking about bacteria, another chapter on fungi, algae, slime molds, protozoa, nematodes, arthropods, earthworms, all the things you want in your soil, all the different elements. And then the second part is how to take that information and apply it to your land. So we're talking about compost, mulch, compost teas, taking care of your lawn, taking care of trees, shrubs, perennials. So this is a really great book.
Soil Bible.
There's quite a few soil Bibles. The nice thing about this one is it's really accessible.
Okay.
And you know, some of it's a little bit heavy at times. You got to read it through a few times, particularly if you don't have a background in biology. But it's really accessible and worth photocopying. Or not that we endorse such things. I have a PDF version of it as well.